Welcome to Fight Night Hearthstone Edition, featuring some of the top players from around the world. With $15,000 of prize money on the line, who will go home the Hearthstone champion? This is Fight Night.
Welcome back to Hearthstone Fight Night Season 6, everybody. Tonight is an important night as it's the first series for Clarity showing at Fight Night, and yet they're on the verge of taking it if KitKatz can close out against Forsen. Find out what happens after you take a look at the journey to how we got here.
We do have an advantage coming the second time because they're the newcomers right now. So we're a bit more relaxed, we're more experienced with this tournament.
I think Admirable is probably our best player, actually, even better than me. And I think he's going to 3-0 Dark Onyx.
But this is actually a game. And, wow. You know what? It did end up coming down to the Harrison Jones. Yeah, the small change in the deck actually ended up working out perfectly for him.
He's got Auctioneer, Doomhammer, and Harrison. Is he just not running Manatide Totems?
What does Dark Onyx bring out, though? Does he go Druid versus Druid? Or does he bring out his third deck, a Paladin deck?
Well, it looks like Dark Onyx remains undefeated at Fight Night.
Jeez. That is
pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah,
he's chasing down Strife Crow, man.
Strife Crow, I believe.
He did lose to Nimsh. But he had like a lot of wins before that happened.
And now let's meet the players for Team ManaGrind, Forsen, Dark Onyx, Duck Wingface, and Reels. And the newcomers, Team Clarity Gaming, that's Admirable, Puffin, Chacky, and KitKatz. So here are the rules for Fight Night Hearthstone Edition. 8 players form 2 teams and battle it out 4v4. The 2 team captains will decide which players will face off in the next round. Now the battle begins. In order to win, the player has to beat all 3 of his rivals' decks. After all the players have battled solo, it's time for the final ace match. All 4 players on each team unite in a grand showdown to find out who is the strongest. Ultimately, the stakes are high. Teams can win as much as $5,000 for crushing their opponents. If one team manages to go even further and clean sweep their opponents, the winners will receive a huge bonus reward of $5,000 on top.
And here we are again. Fight for KitKatz versus Forsen. What do you think?
It's a good match. KitKatz is the guy that was like, we are going to crush them.
Yeah.
We're going to demolish them. He considers himself absolutely one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
But he also said that he thought Forsen was a very strong player and maybe the scariest one for him on their team.
Maybe even like a 4 out of 10, which would be the best on his scale, right?
According to the scale of what KitKatz has said, it would be about a 4 out of 10.
So let's see if a 4 out of 10 can beat the 7 out of 10.
Maybe. I think I look at the kind of the matchups that we see here for decks, and I feel like it favors KitKatz a little bit.
I have to agree with that.
But Forsen, he's a guy that plays some crazy decks, so anything could happen with that.
Well, the craziness is visible to us now. We'll have to see if it comes through in the games that they play.
Indeed. Well, before we see those games that they play, let's go ahead and check out a quick video about these players.
Hello, my name's Andrew Vargas, and also known as KitKatz, and I play for Clarity Gaming. I would agree with ManaGrind when they said that I am the best player on Clarity Gaming. It's kind of unquestionable. What makes me a good player, or the best player on my team, is that I practice a lot more than everyone else, and I'm devoted to the game, and I treat it like a job.
I'm Sebastian Forsen Force, and I play for Team ManaGrind. Yeah, I definitely think that KitKatz is the best player in Team Clarity. I do believe he's kind of like Dark Onyx though, in one way, that he likes to stick to really specific decks, like the Control Warrior, for example, which he's famous for. I haven't seen him play much other classes than Control Warrior, so it's going to be interesting to see if he can keep up on other decks as well.
I think the 2 best players on ManaGrind are Dark Onyx and Forsen, and I think Dark Onyx stands above Forsen currently, but I think in the future, Forsen will become the superior player.
My best deck of the tournament would probably be my Warlock that I'm doubling up on, my aggro lock that I made some huge changes to. It's not my craziest deck. I have a lot other crazy decks coming up this fight night around.
Nerves do tend to be a factor, especially for new teams, but I think we are so confident in our skill in comparison to ManaGrind that I don't really feel like that's going to play an impact on this matchup at all. I think we're going to crush them. Probably we might lose 1 or 2 games, not matches, and then we're probably going to have the cleanest sweep of any team in the history of ESGN.
I feel like we have the upper hand in this fight night, not just because they're new, but because they're not really, or I don't think they're really on par with our skill level overall in the team. There are some really good players, but overall I think we have an edge in skill-wise.
In response to ManaGrind's prediction that they would 4-1 us, Clarity Gaming, I think it's laughable, and I think the world will see the result, and then I guess we can all just laugh along at the arrogance that they present.
It will be a close series. We won't crush them, I don't think. It might happen the first season, but the next season it will definitely be closer, I think.
All right, it's the 4th match, potentially the last match for Clarity if they need it. That's admirable. Is today the day?
I think so, despite my blunder.
Well, I mean, the past is in the past. That was yesterday night. But today, KitKatz, he's the one that's representing you guys for Clarity. And you guys have put a lot of hype behind him, saying he's probably one of the best, if not the best player on your team, or at least in that discussion for it. And KitKatz definitely can take this series against Forsen.
I don't think there's any question about it.
Okay, and Chalky, knowing Forsen and his unconventional style of deck building, you still feel like that won't throw KitKatz off his game?
I think it's something that, we're all kind of shaky about, but I mean, looking at last fight night, all of his, unique decks lost, and he ended up winning with just a standard Miracle Rogue, so I'm not too afraid of them.
All right, and then Puffin, if there's any advice you can give KitKatz, because you guys have actually all been out there playing Chalky more than once, what advice would you give KitKatz right now for his first series?
Just stay calm, play his game. He's a good player, he knows it. Pretty much that.
He does know, as you guys saw from those videos. All right, well, good luck to Clarity in the last match. All right, I'm here with ManaGrind moments before Forsen takes on KitKatz. Reels, you guys know Forsen. He's kind of unconventional and a weird player. But, those things aside, he's also a great player, and he still can take on KitKatz.
Yeah, for sure. His play is really strong. He does like to play things that, he has practiced himself. He puts a lot of time into it, and he knows his decks in and out and what they're good against and what they're not, what situations to do what in. They're really interesting, but they still are collections of good cards, and I'm hoping for the best.
Now, given the classes that Clarity's been playing, whether it's Hunter, Rogue, and Druid, or some kind of variations of this, but you guys have been throwing out all kinds of different classes. Have you guys kind of figured out maybe an optimal way to face against it in terms of picking your classes? Did you guys give any strategy specifically to Forsen? I'll ask Duck this question.
Well, it's important to keep in mind, like we talked a lot about the cards that they played in previous matches, because they might overlap in the deck since they're on a team, so they strategize together. And in general, I think that Forsen is well prepared for everything that can be thrown at him. So very confident in what we're gonna see.
All right, and then Dark Wonix, give me a score prediction here for Forsen versus KitKatz. Who's gonna win, and what's the score?
3x to Forsen, 3 something, hopefully 3-0. I know Forsen makes kind of unorthodox deck lists, and sometimes I try them out and I fail miserably. And other people try them out, they also fail. Somehow he plays them differently, he has a different play style. But it works for him.
There's only one wielder to the sword as far as I'm concerned. That's
yeah,
Forsen.
there's only one caliber in this case.
All right, well, thanks, ManaGrind, for a minute of your time. Good luck to Forsen and KitKatz in the upcoming match. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we come back, match number 4 with Season 6 of Fight Night.
Stay tuned for more Fight Night. Welcome back to Fight Night.
Something really weird has happened. Something almost creepy.
You guys don't get to see it on air, but every single time this season, Crip has just pointed the decks that people are starting with, following up with, everything. And you've gotten every single one right. Like, I don't even know, I don't know how you did it this time. With these deck lineups, I don't know how you did it.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Basically, you don't think about it very much. You just point at one of the decks.
But it's been every time.
Yeah.
This is the 4th night.
Yeah.
That was a lot of decks.
Well, it's 8 matchups. Well, it's four matchups and 2 apiece, so it's at least 8. And then they had to play more than that, so you know, maybe more than a dozen or so.
Yeah.
In a row.
It's pretty crazy.
It's pretty good.
Well, you know what you're doing. It's going to be Hunter going up against Shaman.
Yep.
Should be a good one. We're going to be starting that game in just a moment here. Here's the thing, though. Shaman is auto loss against Hunter.
It seems that way, but the Shaman that people think about when you say Shaman is not the Shaman we're about to see.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
Forsen has some wild decks here, and this one.
I mean, that's just
there
it.
you go.
I mean,
look at that.
Do you need anything else?
Who plays that card?
I have an arena, but it's because it's that card, and then you know it's up against the Epic Pirate, and then the Epic Crab, if you're familiar with that one.
The Epic Crab, yes, I do know that Epic Crab.
Okay.
And you choose that one.
Yeah. Well, funny thing is, I feel that hand from the Hunter kind of sucks.
Okay, let's look at the hand from the Hunter. Yeah, that's a pretty garbage hand as well. And actually, the hand from Forsen, I think, is actually pretty good and getting better.
Yeah. If somehow the Hunter deck manages to not run into its Hunter marks, that Earth Elemental is pretty much gonna stop out a whole lot of cards.
Yeah. And in fact, he's not playing any Owls here, so he's gonna really need the Hunter's mark.
Yep. Pretty easy play so far. The doggies run to the board. I like that animation quite a bit.
I really like a lot of the new animations, although the Rag one I'm not crazy about.
He like goes on the board, then off the board, then on the board.
Yeah, he's like a card when he's off the board. I'm like, huh.
All right.
Eagle Horn Bow, that's a reasonable counter to these dogs. But you know, generally
not
speaking,
exactly.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. It's you get rid of them, right?
Yeah.
That part's good.
1 for 1, you take 4 damage and pay the same amount of mana.
Well, you take more than 4 because you know
6.
Yeah.
It's
a little bit rough, but he's got to get rid of them eventually here. And he gets the taunt totem very nicely. But you know what? Generally speaking, Hunter just kills Shaman because Shaman has no life gain and it's normally a little bit slow. And this is kind of a slow one, but it's got a good hand.
It's also because you tend to win by just massing numbers of creatures.
Yeah.
Which tends to get
doggied.
Really, really crushed by the doggies.
Well, looking at KitKat's hand, nothing too exciting going on here. That's for sure. Like, does he do something like misdirection and try to recharge his bow? Does he just go with the bow right now?
He's got 2 bows. You don't recharge anything. You have no
he
use
does
for
have a
flare,
single bow,
so
that's
you
right.
flare. Because I think you flare and weapon up after you used your weapon. As sad as that sounds.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Oh, another buzzard. Looks terrible.
Look at Forsen and his evil grin. Oh, and he's actually just going to go ahead and hero power.
Okay.
Just deciding to continue to put on actual damage to the face of Shaman. It is important to get them low as quickly as possible.
I think it might be because they've seen the... what is that? What is that card that we talked about today? The 5/4? Is that the Harrison?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Harrison Jones.
So if he played the weapon there, Harrison would have...
oh my god.
Would have Arcane Intellected and Oozed and 5/4'd the board.
Wow. That's pretty crazy. All right, so this, he actually just top decked the Hunter's Mark, and he has an explosive trap, and he has an Eagle Horn Bow.
Yeah. Well,
I think that we...
And he's hovering over the hero ability. That doesn't make much sense, does it?
That he's not going to hero ability, I don't think. That would be really weird. Like, I think explosive trap has to come out to make sure he kills this, because he doesn't really have any other way to deal with it. And if you're going to do that, you have to use Eagle Horn Bow, of course. Alright, so that turn kind of plays itself.
Yeah, but it's not going to work.
It's not going to work, you say?
Yeah, he has Earthshock. Earthshock will silence before doing the damage.
Oh, you're right. But that just leaves him with a 7/7 that doesn't have taunt. Well, actually, he is a taunt giver, so
yeah,
that actually works perfect.
Yeah, that
good
does
work, Crip.
Yeah, pretty perfect.
This is like not the first time we've commentated together where you're like, Earthshock silences first. I'm like, oh, every time.
Okay.
All right, so we'll go ahead and taunt that up again. Pretty painful right now for KitKatz. And here we go, man. That's Forsen for you.
Okay.
He's been squelched though, unfortunately.
Oh, that's too bad.
He loves the spam emotes in these tournaments.
I think you just track here. I mean, do you really need to use 7 mana for a turn? Oh, maybe you do.
No, I think you
you can buzzard kill command and then weapon out the Sun Fury.
Well, I think you tracking first.
Okay.
In my opinion, just to see what you get, because you're gonna have that 1 extra mana anyways, unless you want to use the coin. And I think he's realizing that now. Alright, well.
What just happened?
He's dealt with things so far. Oh, mistake.
Yeah.
Should have done that first. It's not actually going to make a difference, but just in theory, you generally want to draw your cards first. And he keeps it tracking, actually, so he can dig a bit deeper in his deck.
I think he really just wants the Unleash, and I think that's obvious because he attacked face with the weapon there.
Alright, so a Fire Elemental does come out here for Forsen. And he's continuing to mass up on that board. Really low life total right now.
I mean, the Hunter's a lot more explosive than the Shaman, so the difference in life totals is not really that important, I feel. But the fact that Fire Elemental's a little bit of a problem to deal with right now is a bigger part of the game.
Well, he could take out this 2/3 and throw down Misdirection. That's a possible play here.
Okay.
And I oftentimes like to do things like that against Shaman or Druid, where you're just kind of sitting behind a Misdirection, and the thing is, they know what it is, but they have to pop it somehow. And generally, they'll just sit there and try to get a smaller minion out.
Well, no Misdirect today. Oh, Misdirect.
Oh, still Misdirect. Does he just go face?
That's what he's thinking about, I think.
Huh. All right, well, when he attacks, I guess it's a coin flip where it goes. Look at how interesting this deck is from Forsen.
I think if it hits his face, he's
dead if it
trouble.
hits his face.
Okay.
Let's look at the look on KitKat's face when he sees that.
Wow.
A little bit of a
That's a
headshake.
really good card right now.
Oh my god, you're very right about that. And as far as I know, this Hunter deck does not play Harrison Jones.
I think it goes with Fire Elemental. Oh, man.
Oh, jeez. Alright, let's see what he gets off of tracking. He's obviously going to have to cast it. He has 8 mana to use.
There's Unleash.
That is Unleash, yeah.
I think you Buzzard Unleash, and then Misdirect up.
Explosive Trap. Unleash. Ooh.
I think.
Thing is, you have to deal with something here.
Yeah, you do.
Alright. Fair play there. And bringing him down to 10, this is getting really, really close to death for both these players.
These Misdirects have been really strong so far.
Okay, so this is pretty bad.
I think you have to go for the attack.
We hope you prepared for more fight nights.
You're right.
Oh, I
once
was
again.
right. Yeah, well, how about that?
Yeah.
What was that?
Just
Is that
100%
Warlock?
this season. I don't even.
Well, you
you
guessed
do
it
like
too.
the whole season. What do we even do with you? Are you some sort of genius?
Well, I wasn't aware of this, but like I can work with that. Yeah, I can be a genius.
Maybe not a genius. Maybe more like an idiot savant or something like that.
Yeah. The other one sounds a little cleaner, don't you
It
think?
does sound a bit cleaner. That's
Yeah.
why I had to knock you down a peg.
Oh.
All right. Well, this game is going to be starting up in just a second. You know, I think the Warlock, it's a fair matchup. It can go either way, but if you get the Unleash combo with,
I believe the last time we saw these very similar decks pair up, it went the Hunter's way.
yes,
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go with that.
yeah, I have to go with that as well, just because you know, Hunter, if you get that combo, man, it's just so gross. It's so strong. But looking at this open hand, that's actually a very strong opening hand.
I like that a lot.
That's really good with the Mortal Coil and the Argent.
wow! Taking out the leper?
Yeah, that's actually very surprising to me. Why do you think he did that?
He probably realized that the Warlock had kept the Argent Squire in his mulligan as well as the Mortal Coil, which is why KitKatz is a 7 out of 10, by the way.
I see.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I think, though, he's actually looking for one card in his deck.
Which card is this?
That card is Unleash the Hounds.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't care at all about any other cards that he might draw into.
That's very fair. Because really, that's the key to this matchup.
Yeah.
Like, when you're playing against another minion-based, like, rushy deck, all you want is to get that combo off, because that just wins the game, basically.
Easily, actually.
Clear the board, draw a bunch of cards, do damage, whatever it is that you want to do with it. So, I mean, at least he has the buzzard already.
Well, he has one and another one for insurance. Oh my god.
It's kind of a
How
fun
many
game.
1 toughness creatures is Forsen prepared to play?
Well, he's got to be really careful about that, because that can get out of hand pretty quick.
Okay.
So he goes ahead and steady shots himself and draws a card off of it. But the Hunter always loves to see you do that, that's for sure.
I think we're going to see another one of those. This is not a very good Hunter
Not the
Hunter
best.
hand.
Yeah,
No.
not the best I've seen.
At least not against what his opponent has.
All right, so he goes for that Eagle Horn Bow. Ooh, that's a lot of damage. Kind of a desperation move right there.
Yeah,
that his hand
Metronome
might be-
clocks in, what is that, 6?
Yeah. I believe so.
I think I might just tap here. No?
I think you have to be really careful how often you life tap, and I think what he wants also is to just set up
Double Squire
Yeah, double
taunt.
Squire with taunt. That's like pretty good, right?
Pretty good against 1 toughness minions. Yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna be it's gonna take them like 4 cards to get rid of all that.
The Squire value.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be just like amazing if you saw KitKatz play a Blood Knight right now?
Blood Knight in Hunter.
Yeah.
The new meta by Crip.
Yeah. Well, those Squires are pretty annoying for hunters.
They really are. It's like a really good card to keep. Does he trade this with the 3/2? I think he does. Yeah. It's going for face doesn't even really make sense because of these silly little squires. And that is going to just break KitKat's heart right there. That is like a very strong board against Hunter.
Yeah.
Still looking for that combo.
Do you just YOLO doggy?
If he... Oh, he just wants to draw a bunch of cards. Okay, well. Let's see what he gets. Explosive Trap isn't the worst draw here.
That's a good one, actually.
Yeah.
So what do you do here? Do you Mortal Coil the
You definitely
buzzard?
Mortal Coil something.
Wow. I don't know about this. Oh, okay.
Well, you know what he's saying is, hey, you can't draw cards off this. The best he can do is make a bunch of doggies. And even a Timberwolf is gone, so...
Yeah, but... Yeah, I don't know if I like this too much.
Well, he's not going to like it once that explosive trap comes down, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he goes like explosive trap and maybe kill command on the 3/3, it's good. Good move.
I think you can do explosive misdirecting here.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And that's going to give you a lot of charges on that bow as well. All right, let's see it. You know what? This could go very, very wrongly with this misdirect.
Board could clean up here.
Yeah. Give him another charge as well. He knows it's a misdirect also.
Yep.
Where's it going? Oh, man. Still, he's getting very, very low here. 16 against 12 at the moment. Let's see, he's got kill commands. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It's pretty close.
It's pretty close.
I think right now it favors the hunter.
Well, we see 8 damage that's most likely coming in. So basically, he needs to draw like
Soulfire or Power Overwhelming.
Yeah, and he has 3 cards he can draw right there for that. Or he could draw Leroy, right?
Yep.
Does Leroy actually do it? Hold on.
Yep.
No, he doesn't have enough mana.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't.
So Leroy doesn't do it.
I think here you can you track? Oh, you can't track.
You know, he actually has to draw Soulfire or Power Overwhelming to win this.
The thing is, you cannot Arcane Golem because it gives your opponent a chance to play more stuff or tap.
Yeah. Well, I think what you do is you do the doggy, then you do the
kill command face.
Yeah, kill command to face, and then just use your hero power and weapon.
Okay. Leroy, huh?
Yeah, I think this is definitely a Leroy keep. Because that's like such easy lethal for next turn.
No, I think Explosive Trap might be good.
Just to prevent your own death.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, he does 5, 8. Yeah, because he has the 2 Arcane Golems. So it's like next turn he's killing him no matter what, right? All he needs to do is make sure he stays alive right now.
There's a Leroy. I would not play that. No way.
Yeah, I don't like that play, to be honest. But he's going to go ahead and do it, and that's going to give his opponent up to 8 mana next turn.
Yeah, so now he can tap for another draw, another chance at Soulfire.
That's right, yeah. Yeah. Let's see, what is it? Leroy, that's not enough. He doesn't have the mana for this. He needs to life tap. He can only deal 10 damage at the moment. This is it.
The thing is, if he life taps and fails, he loses.
Yeah, I think you have to do it though. And that's just he can't do it. There is not a possibility here. He can deal 10, he can deal 11 damage possible.
Yep. That's right.
Yep. Nothing to be done.
Close game.
Ouch, yeah, that was a super close one. Coming down to just the very last turn there.
I really
definitely could have gone to
Forsen. I really don't think I needed to Arcane Golem there. Because
yeah, I think Arcane was a mistake for sure.
I mean, it worked out, but it increases the chance that your opponent can finish the game against you.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that at all. But
I think that was actually a rather large mistake when you look at it. But I guess maybe it's hard to put him on a second Argent Commander in hand.
I mean, if you have one, don't you run another one?
Yeah, generally speaking you do, but is that going to be there? Well, the thing is, yeah, normally you do run 2. You don't run like 1 Doomguard and 1 Argent Commander.
Yeah.
So I think there was enough to go on that he shouldn't have done the Arcane. Like, there was just so many other ways to deal damage.
I don't know if it was a 7 out of 10 player kind of play, but the mulligan was, so maybe it evened out.
Yeah, the mulligan was good. That was
surprisingly good. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's so weird to see someone throw back a Leper Gnome. It's just like, that is exactly the card you want in most matchups.
Especially against the Warlock.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see. I guess you'll get this one right. Which deck is he going to pick? Rogue, you think? His last deck?
I think so.
All right.
When I walked into the ManaGrind room and saw them playing Diablo 3 instead of practicing for the event, I was offended. I thought they took us lightly, and I'm going to show them that they can't do that to a team like us. We're not weak. And so we're going to embarrass them on TV, and you guys can see the complete shutout. And then they can go home and never come back. But we'll come back the next time. We won't underestimate our opponent. We'll practice continually until we actually are the best.
We'll be right back with Fight Night.